Hi friends, my name is Michaela Bell. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about how to control and what to do when you have big emotions. So if you ever feel like you struggle with overwhelm or anxiety or any type of big emotion, this episode is for you. I'm going to share 4 of my favorite tips that I myself use and also use when I'm working with my clients. And the first one is to make a very small change in your language. So instead of saying, I am anxious, or I am overwhelmed, or I am depressed, or fill in the blank, instead switch it to I feel anxious. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm having a depressive episode. So what this small change in language does is it creates distance between you and the emotion. It also changes it from saying this is who I am to this is something that I'm experiencing. It might seem like a small change, but to your body and to your brain, it communicates a very different message, and it will help you create that distance that will allow you to just look at it and say, okay, this is something that I'm feeling. It's not necessarily a fact or exactly who I am. The second thing, which is somewhat similar, is to write it all down. Everything that is swirling around your head. What are the things that are making you feel overwhelmed? What's going on in your life? What are those thoughts that are just kind of like going in circles inside of your head? And write them down. Again, it creates that distance between you and the emotion that you're feeling. And then, this is my favorite thing, is cross a line through all of those things that you cannot control. The things that you're overwhelmed with, maybe, insecurities that you have, cross off some of the things that you cannot control or that are not true. And then put a circle around the things that you can control and a box around the things that you might need help processing or that you can delegate. What this does is it helps your body and your brain to say, okay, these are the things that I can control. What can I do here? These are the things that I can't control and that I really genuinely can't do anything about. And then these are the things that I might need help with. The third thing is to move your body. Anytime that I'm feeling overwhelmed or feeling really anxious about a situation or a circumstance in my life, one of the first things that I do is move my body. Science shows us that every time your muscles contract, they secrete something called myokines. And myokines travel to the brain and they act as antidepressants. Movement is literally medicine. It is healing to the body and to the mind. And it just allows you to almost like shake it off physically. Number 4 is to do this one exercise. I do this with my clients and my students all the time, and I can't even begin to tell you how helpful it is. If you tend to struggle with a specific big emotion, maybe let's say overwhelm or anxiety, I want you to know the weapons that will help defend against that. I love watching football. It's one of my favorite sports. And part of being a good coach when you're up against a team is knowing your opponent, know their weaknesses so that you can come into that game and have a better chance of winning. Same thing with your emotions. Now, your emotions are not the enemy, but when we have an emotion like anxiety that can tend to overwhelm us or feel really big, it's important to know the weapons that you have to defend. Study your opponent so that you know what you're up against and you know how to beat it. For example, joy is fear's biggest fear. It knows that when there is joy and playfulness in your life, fear cannot come into that picture. Joy and fear very rarely, if at all, ever are in the same room. So think about the things that bring you joy. Maybe it's playing with your dog or taking a walk, or maybe it's that friend that you have that makes you belly laugh. Give her a call. So what I have my clients do is figure out, okay, this is the really big emotion that I tend to struggle with. And then these are ways that I can fight it, whether it's joy or things that bring you peace. And then think about what are the activities that I can do that will bring this other emotion to kind of combat this one. And keep that list handy for yourself. Essentially, have a playbook for your emotions. Now, the one thing I want to say really quickly is that you can't actually control that you have emotions. You're a human being. Every thought that we have releases a chemical in our body, and those chemicals are emotions. Literally, emotions are chemicals. How you react to your emotions are what we call feelings. Those are the things that you do have more control over, and you can learn over time to manage those better, especially as you build this skill. So try not to judge the fact that you maybe do get overwhelmed, or you do experience anxiety, or you do get really down on yourself. Or if you're sad, try not to judge those and give yourself a ton of grace, because you're human. You're going to experience a myriad of different emotions every single day. But know if you struggle with one in particular, and figure out how can I combat it and have a bit of a playbook. So just to review, some of the things that will help you with managing big emotions are, number one, instead of saying I am anxious, say I feel anxious. The second thing is to write it down and then cross off any things that you cannot control, circle what you can control, and put a box around something you might need help processing. The third thing is to move your body, because movement is medicine for your soul. And the fourth thing is to have that playbook, and most importantly, to give yourself grace. Let me know in the comments which one you resonated with most. And also, I love collective wisdom. So if you feel like you have something, a tool that you use, a skill that you've developed that has really helped you with overcoming some of those really big emotions and managing them well and in healthy ways, share it with us, because then we can all learn from one another. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe so that you can get notified every single time we have new videos, which is try to do every single week. Again, thank you so much for being here. See you next time. Bye, guys.
Nice, man. That was sweet.
How long was that?
That was cool. 9 minutes.
Nice.
50 minutes this time. Look at you.
Cut out what?
50 minutes.
50 minutes?
50. It's an hour. 10 minutes now.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Oh,
It was a lot. Was that hard? Are you sweaty?
good. No, my back's got here.
You okay?
Already messed up.
You want me to massage you?
No.
Okay.
You're there.
Okay.
We're gonna hit this.
Oh, yeah.